Hello, discerning audience. This is Vicki Spray with Evolve Talk. I want you to know that we are partly sponsored by Arts After School. It is a local and family-owned and operated center that offers arts-enriched curriculum for after school, spring break, summer, and you can reach them online, tallyarts.com. Check them out. Hello, Carla, and thank you. Today, we have you, Gail Dixon.
Hi, Vicki.
Hello, I'm so glad you came into the office today.
Thanks for inviting me.
I've been wanting you to get in here because you are doing some changes out there. Your business is called Mastering Authentic Change. And
right.
I like that word authentic. That's got my attention. Before we get into your business, I want to know a little bit about what moved you into this service so that you can help other people. What happened?
Well, part of what moved me is my own life experience, where I encountered major life changes and realized that though I got through them, I made the change, but I didn't necessarily master it. I didn't necessarily get to the other side of the change with a resonance with what I felt was my best and truest self. And so I began to learn and study the change process, looked at both organizational and individual change, personal growth literature, spiritual literature, and began to see that there is, in fact, a skill to mastering change.
Wow. Because we're living in a time where everybody is actually, we see that there's a problem in our lives, in our culture, our systems, and we want to change it, but that we get up and we bump up against a wall. And it sounds to me like your job is like, yes, I see that you want to do this. I'm going to help you step by step create this change.
Exactly. And, you know, we come to changes in our lives sometimes because we're making a choice.
That's right.
But sometimes that change comes by circumstance. Sometimes it's entirely out of our control. And we wake up one morning and say, I don't know who I am now that this has happened. What do I do now that that is gone from my life? And knowing how to ask ourselves those questions and formulate the answer and move through the process is something that we don't get taught.
It's so true. We don't. It's by the seat of our pants.
It is.
And there's so much fear and there's so much confusion because we don't have that step by step. Your professional training is actually in change.
It is. It is. My master's degree is in communication and human relations. All my postgraduate work is in clinical areas, counseling, social work, and I've studied change management and change facilitation. And, you know, the thing that resonates for me through all of that literature is that there's a lot out there that describes the process of change or the stages of change, but not much that gives people direction about how do you go from stage to stage. What does it take to move through the process and the transition?
Somebody's lost their job, a divorce. A desire to change their job, their career.
It's, you know, it's time for retirement.
Yes.
And,
wow, that's
you know,
a biggie.
I've spent my whole life working somebody else's agenda, working for a corporate entity, and now it's my agenda to drive my life.
Love it.
And in that whole period before, I didn't have time to examine what my agenda was. So I don't know where to land. I don't know where to hook myself. And the thing I think that keeps people in a change process that works for them, where they're able to sustain a successful change, is when that change is aligned with their best and most authentic self.
I love that.
When the change comes from their heart and their spirit, and when they recognize that that is raw and bare of the expectations of the world, the demands of a particular role or responsibility, the frustrations that have come up in the past, when we can say, this is who I want to be, when we can say, I am this at the end of a change process, and smile about it and be happy about it and feel like we are claiming it with joy.
Yes, yes.
That is mastering change.
It is. I love that, mastering change. And again, back to the mastering authentic change.
Right.
So 2 of my passions with Evolve Talk and my own work is, there's something inside of us that knows.
Exactly.
And then the other thing that you just mentioned is these things that we've been told that actually counter that.
Well, right. The world in our social construct is designed to silence us.
Yes.
And to silence.
It's much more manageable that way.
Well, and there are a lot of things that work in those social constructs,
True,
or
absolutely.
they wouldn't be there.
That's right.
And we have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But what happens very often is we don't know how to resist those constraints and demands in a healthy way, in a way that keeps us whole and keeps whatever we are resisting or pushing against also whole and also valued. Because we don't want to change from a perspective of devaluing something or someone.
In order to move away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
When we're ready,
Yeah.
even when we're ready to change something, it has served us.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we don't know how to do that. We are a society that lives in dualisms. We live in either or.
Yes.
One up, one down.
Yes.
I win, you lose.
Yes.
And so we don't know how to craft us apart from who we were in that societal construct. But it is something we can learn.
That's what I know now for sure. And I thought I knew this before this interview, but I know it now more. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If people want to, when people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
At www.masteringauthenticchange.com.
Masteringauthentichange.com. Love that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vicki. Nice to be here.
Nice for you to be here. Thank you.